Hello everyone and welcome back to Inferno. I'm actually really looking forward to this episode. We're going to be getting into some bees. Previously we got our university up to tier 2, which means we now have access to all of the tier 2 technologies. We also got ourselves some villagers for trading to help us gear up for the boss fight. And we made a little expansion onto our storage room here in order to stock several items in the warehouse. I have since added things like ancient saplings, ichor balls and also slime saplings here. So with the unlock of tier 2, I decided to spend some time between episodes here just trying to clean up around the base and add some miscellaneous upgrades. Let me show you what all has changed. So I started off at blood magic, just trying to get the rest of the room finished off. And then I headed over to our university to pick up the research for the stone smeltery. We've had this building built for quite a while, we just had to finalise it inside the colony. And this is going to be nice as smelting all of this blackstone, especially in vanilla furnaces, is getting very tedious. We seem to go through a lot of this stuff building all the roads. But once the building was constructed, we can just teach the recipe to the stone smeltery. And anytime we're in need of blackstone, we can just request it from the mine colony. It's also occasionally used in some of the buildings, which means the builders can automatically request it. After extending some more roads around the colony, I also wanted to invest in the Fletcher's hut, which can allow us to autocraft things like arrows and armour, as well as carpets, which our builders occasionally request. Oh yeah, and a few spiders decided to show up again. Nothing we couldn't handle with our new weapons though. Some of the other missing materials for the builders included more things from the sawmill, so I taught them recipes for crimson wood. We are going to keep expanding their knowledge as we run into more recipes they require. I've noticed a few other recipes which should be pretty easy to fix here early on. The first is to teach our carpenter the recipe for ladders. Our miner Apollo here keeps requesting ladders. He seems to have gone quite far down. I don't know if he's going to go all the way down to bedrock. It's going to be interesting to see if that's the case. And now that the Fletcher building is finished off here, we can also add a recipe in for fishing rods. The sticks we should automatically get from the bonsais. And the string also has a recipe here in the Fletchers from wool, which we can get from our sheep farm. Baker the fisherman seems to go through quite a lot of rods trying to keep all of this colony fed. So for the time being, let's leave the colony to do its thing for the next couple of hours. Well, probably more than a couple of hours. It's going to take me a very long time to get this done, I feel like. But it's going to be fun. Let us move on to the star of the show today, the productive bees. If we look in JEI, I'm not exactly sure if all of these are obtainable in the pack. I know that some of them have been disabled, or maybe just some of the bees have been made unobtainable for whatever reason. That is something we're going to have to figure out and put a number on how many hives we're going to have to build. But over here at the mob farm, we do occasionally get the simulator upgrade. Wait a minute, we should be getting the simulator upgrade. It's empty though. Can we craft these things? We can, it's just not a super easy recipe. We need emeralds and diamonds, which is not something we really have an abundant supply of. We definitely do want to plan this expansion around the fact that we will have the simulator upgrade in the future. So let's try to get a basic understanding of the simulator upgrade. You see, normally in productive bees, you can put the bee into an advanced beehive, along with an expansion box to allow for upgrades, such as productivity and speed. And the bee, similar to vanilla, will occasionally leave the hive and find its own flower block. In this case, for the clay bee, it's a clay block. Once it pollinates the flower, it takes it back to the hive and should produce us some clay here, along with bottles of honey if we give it glass bottles. However, if we give it the simulator upgrade, and we put the bee inside the hive using a bee cage, that puts it inside the GUI, and the simulator upgrade will mean that it no longer has to physically exit the hive. The bee will always stay inside, which is good for lag reduction, but it still does need access to its own flower, right? Which is where the feeding slab comes into play. I'm not actually sure in the range of this thing. I think it has to go right next to the hive, like this. And inside this block, we can give this the piece of clay. And it looks like there's 3 slots here, so we could theoretically have multiple different types of bees in the same hive. Although I think for us, we're going to have 1 hive per bee type. Just to test things out, we can time in a bottle, and I think it should automatically produce us some clay combs. Yeah, this is behaving exactly as I expected it to. So once we get to this point, all we have to do is centrifuge the combs, and it will give us honey, wax, and whatever type of resource is associated with the bee. And the combs, I know for a fact we can just easily pipe out of the bottom of the beehive. So all we need to do now is figure out how many apiaries we will need, and expand the corridor this way. It's going to be so much digging. Oh my goodness, it's going to be so much digging. I hope that we don't run into anything here preventing us from expanding, but we do also have the option of building down if we need to. Needless to say though, this is going to be a huge project. I'm looking forward to it though. Alright, so some time has passed and phase 1 has been completed. Well, not really. Some decisions have been made in this room here, and we're going to make this a bit of a storage room for all of the finished outputs from the bees. I think we want to try and incorporate some of this honeycomb block It works quite well next to the shroom lights here. And so underneath this space is actually where we're going to have all of the apiaries. I wanted to spiral the staircase down and go back on ourselves. This is actually the path we came down, just so we don't have to load too many chunks off to the right hand side. And somehow we're going to have all of our bees inside the walls here. We also have to have some processing as well for the combs. One of these villagers should be able to help us out, this beekeeper. This guy is going to sell us things like bee cages, as well as a fairly decent emerald trade. Although we're going to be getting emeralds from bees anyway, so it's probably not going to be useful long term. Well, I think we can now say we're on, what, phase 2? I guess we're on phase 2. So the process of adding a new bee is actually relatively simple. If we breed together the chocolate mining bee and the glowing bee, we can get ourselves a redstone bee. And the redstone bee is going to live downstairs in our newly built apiary setups here. I love how these things turned out. But they are relatively simple. All it is just a 3x3 pod for every type of bee. Currently though, we have the silky, which is missing its item frame here. We have glowstone, we have sand. Sand is being made actually with a quarry bee. The quarry bees are very, very versatile. It depends which flower block you give them. And so because we have sand, they produce sand. We also have the crystalline bee giving us nether quartz. We have gas tiers, we have clay. We have the skeletal bee giving us bones and bone meal. We have 2 diamond bees here. And now we have our first 2 redstone bees here. Of course, the flowering block is redstone dust. Once they eventually grow up and start to produce us some combs, they will end up in the beehive here. And so behind every single one of these apiaries, we have a centrifuge. I decided to do 1 centrifuge per bee type, because these things, as you can see here, are extremely slow. Even though we can increase them with speed upgrades, I still didn't want to chance this as being our bottleneck, especially if we add more beehives inside of each of the apiaries in the future. So beside all the beehives, we have extraction modules going into the centrifuge. Once the combs give us, for example, the nether quartz, that all goes into this entangled block here. The liquid honey we're just going to leave as liquid honey here. I have another plan for liquid honey. These ones though will just continue to work and will just void all the excess. So I have the entangled blocks split up every 5 centrifuges, just to reduce the travel time on the items. And the entangled block is actually connected up here to our drawer network. Yeah, it's entangled to the drawer controller back here. So it effectively acts as if we're plugging it directly into this drawer network. Aha, looks like redstone did make its way in here already. And of course for some of these we use compacting drawers to give us both the dust and the block version. So yeah, it took us a very long time to get to this point on livestream. I had so much fun though, thank you so much if you made it there. But there's still a long ways to go. There is still many, many more bees we need to get here. So we have to make sure we keep a healthy population of vanilla bees, since that's how we get most of the modded bees. If we give them a light blue dye, that turns them into the blue banded bee. And we can breed those together with our new redstone bee to give us the lapis bee. All we have to do is find them a new apiary, give them 2 lapis blocks as their flowering block, and a piece of lapis out the front to easily identify which bee is inside. Oh yeah, let us make sure we pick up the quest for the redstone combs. We can replace the high extraction module now. We'll put this one down here for the lapis ones to make sure we add this later on. I want to make sure we get the combs before we process to get the quest. So next 3 combs we want to get is the iron comb, the copper comb, and the tin comb. It looks like for all 3 of these we are going to need the ashy mining bee. And to do that we're going to have to make use of nature's aura. We need some ancient wood, and also some of this infused iron from the crimson altar. It's really awesome when mods come together like this. You know, I've had an absolutely harrowing thought while I was building this and getting the rest of these bees. So I took another look through JEI just to compare what we had with what we were missing, and we still need more than 23 of these apiaries built. So basically a little over double what we already have. Oh yeah, we also now have magma cubes, we have slime, we have also iron and copper. The ashy mining bee plus the crystalline bee either gives you the copper, aluminium, iron, or tin. We actually don't have any way of getting tin or aluminium right now, so we can't have their flower block. It's kind of useless putting them down, so we're just keeping them in the cages. But those two will fill these two slots. We also have emerald, which is going to go here. In fact, emerald we can pick up at the moment, actually. If we take one of these slimy bees, and we breed together with diamond, which we have here, we can hit them with a stick to force them out of the hive. Yeah, we got our first little emerald bee here. These things are so small, it's so hard to catch them. We'll put back the slimy bee here just to reset his cooldown. And yeah, I guess we put emerald in this one here. They like to hide from me. You can barely even see them up there. Like, there's so many times I thought I lost our bees. Let's give them the flower block and the marker out front. So I did of course mention the simulator upgrade, right? The only trouble is to make this we need blaze rods, and we actually haven't come across any nether fortress. We also did need emeralds and diamonds, which should be now taken care of with these bees. The only one that currently has the simulator upgrade is the ender bees, because these guys can actually teleport away. And in fact that happened multiple times on stream and we lost a few of them actually. So we'll get around to getting the simulators in all of them, but I just want to unlock most of the bees. So yeah, I'm counting 23 additions to the apiaries. And that excludes things like Constantan, which may or may not be needed late game, although there is an ingot recipe, I think. We can make the blend from nickel and copper, and both of these we can also get from bees. Oh yeah, one thing we should definitely make sure we do is actually upgrade these drawers. I believe over at the mob farm here, we do get void upgrades as well as emerald upgrades. We definitely want a void upgrade on all of these drawers. Yeah, one void upgrade and the rest will just be emerald storage increases. So I guess it's back to building, right? Yeah, this is a much bigger project than I anticipated for one episode, but you know how we do on this channel. We're gonna go all out. Let's do this. So kicking off this absolutely massive grind we've got ahead of us, it's useful if we break it down into smaller parts. So first of all, I wanted to mark out the flooring, making sure to extend both the main corridor and the side corridors, which house the centrifuges. And for big projects like these, I also find it helpful to do all of the same section at once. It makes it easier since we have a symmetrical repeating pattern. So as far as possible, I like to lay out, like for example, all of one block, all the honey blocks, then all of the acacia blocks, and frame things out one section at a time. It makes it easier to spot mistakes. For example, behind the basalt pillars, it should actually be the warped stems. And doing it this way just feels better. I don't really know how to explain it. I guess because you're getting little mini completions along the way. Fortunately for us, all the raw materials for this build we actually have fully automated. So material cost, at least for the building materials anyway, is not really an issue. It's all just about taking it one block at a time. Alright, and we are finished. At least all of the building. Look how long this corridor goes for. Yeah, the bees here, I knew it would be a large build, which is part of the reason why I didn't go too big on the apiaries in the first place. I also want to point out, is all of this necessary? Absolutely not. But I like to go the extra mile every now and then. The problem we now face is getting enough beehives to actually fill this thing, along with the actual bees themselves, right? It's no good having all this space just empty. Hold on, what is going on over here? Was this? Oh, this is magmatic. Yeah, we need the quest, I think, for this. And somehow I'm carrying around an extra bee. I'm not entirely sure how long I had that guy on me, but I guess there's now two in there making us magma cream. Let's give it the extraction module. So getting the extra centrifuges shouldn't be any issue. They're actually relatively cheap. It's just a vanilla grindstone. We'll make half a stack. And also 7 iron per centrifuge. We should be getting iron from the bees now, so there should be a decent amount backed up in the drawers. There isn't any in the drawers. Okay, which one is iron? It looks like it's over here next to copper. Yeah, I knew I added the iron bee. We must just be missing the extraction module here. Yeah, let's give it some time in a bottle to speed this up. There we go. Oh, it's raw iron. It might not be a bad idea to add some furnaces in then. Okay, that is good to know. At least we get it from our mob farm though. We've been building up iron. We have 2,000 here at the mob farm, which is going to be plenty. Yeah, we'll use this stockpile to craft the cauldrons. And there is 32 centrifuges. Easy. Yeah, we're left with 8 spare, we knew that would be the case. But we can use that to supplement maybe some of the slower ones that we have to buff. Now then, potentially the bigger issue is how we get enough of these advanced beehives. In order to craft these things, we have to use shears, which is more iron. There's also campfires in the recipes, which are cheap enough. Vanilla beehives, which is 3 honeycombs, and then it's 2 more for the advanced version. I don't think we have that much honeycomb. Yeah, we may be able to get enough from the advanced beehives that are here, but currently this is not an automated process. So let's fix the situation. Yeah, so the first thing we're gonna do is clean out this area. I want only vanilla bees in here. All of these random bees we're just gonna keep in the other side for now. Yeah, so this side will be exclusively vanilla bees. And we're gonna go underneath here, I think, with the pipes, just to keep things nice and clean. In the middle here, we want an entangled block. Do I have the entangler? Yes, I do. It should already be bound to the drawer controller. And we can just put a high extraction module in each of these. And why not a high speed increase module? Yeah, so now we should see regular vanilla honeycombs appearing in the drawers. Perfect. The other thing I would like to do here is collect the honey bottles. We do get honey bottles from the mob farm here. However, apparently this is actually getting patched out, so it's going to be player kill only to get all of these drops. We're only going to be getting magma cream from this in the future. Yeah, the honey bottles I would like to get from the bees themselves, just as a more stable source for the future. That would require us to supply this with glass bottles though. We could use our glass blower. Actually, we don't have a glass blower, do we? Okay, scrap that idea. We'll come back to that later on. We'll just worry about the honeycombs for now. We definitely want to make sure these drawers here are locked. Oh yeah, we definitely should have enough honeycomb to make this happen. The shears are not going to stack though, so it's going to be a lot of clicks to get all these crafted. Yeah, I don't really want to do this again, and we don't have applied energistics to help us out here. So I'm going to make a few more than we need, just in case. I don't know if it's easier moving these things manually or shift clicking. I think manually is actually faster since you skip a step in GAI. Alright, and again with a few left to spare. Now all we need to do is get the rest of the bees. And I think most of them are going to be pretty easy to get actually. Some of them, like this blood bee, actually have some unique crafting recipes. Yeah, some of them have to be crafted from their spawn egg, which I don't actually think we can do at the moment. Wait, dark power? Oh no, we can craft these. Yeah, we can definitely get this one. And the bloody bee can actually give us evil craft blood, which we will need in the future for the blood infuser. There is also things like the silicon and the fluix bee, which can give us applied energistics material. It's going to be nice if we can get our hands on these. I think we can at this point. We might have to get some fluix dust. I don't know if that's possible at this point. Yeah, I'm going to see how many bees we can tick off our list here. And the first one that I started with was the blazing bee, which can give us blaze powder. Then I converted some nomad bees into leaf cutter bees. And we can combine those with the blaze bees to give us the coal bee. And the coal bees, of course, got their own apiaries to produce us coal. Coal we can also breed with iron for steel. And the steel for the flower blocks we can get from the blast furnaces, but hopefully we don't have to use these now that we have the bees. There is also the Cree bee, who has a face only a mother could love. No, but this will give us gunpowder. Next up was the 2 blood bees from Evilcraft and Blood Magic. And I produced a few more skeletal bees from the ghostly bee. If we give those wither roses, it turns into the withered bee. And this guy can give us wither skeleton skulls. The wither rose again being the flower block. And for the last 2, we combine mason with iron and mason with crystalline. And we get the silver and the gold bee. And that will almost complete all the bees we need for today. There's a few more things we need. We have to smelt coagulated blood. We get the Evilcraft hardened blood shards. Run these through the smeltery, which is quite full. We still have to get around to moving this thing. This is considered the flower block for these Evilcraft blood bees. I think we'll put them on the end here since we're working with fluids and not items. And actually the setup for these is going to be a bit different. Oh, wait a second. These are the wrong bees. Wait, not the wrong... Wait a second. This is the wrong flower block. We need hardened blood. But doesn't hardened blood harden from this fluid? Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think we just leave it for now. And something else I'm not actually sure about is the other bee we can make in the blood altar. If we give the blood altar some ghostly combs, it's going to turn into this bee I can't pronounce. Oh, we're out of blood here. We need to sacrifice our own. There we go. Yeah, these combs we can actually centrifuge directly into blood magic life essence. Speaking from experience though, at least in 1.12, it's not very efficient to use life essence and pipe it into the altar. And these bees apparently don't have flower block either. I'm not sure if that's intended, but there's like nothing here. Maybe they don't need anything. We'll see, we'll leave them. Oh, and this one did coagulate. Oh, it did work. It just took a while, I guess. Yeah, so I think this is where we're going to leave the bees for today. I have spent so long on this project, I need to mix things up a bit. But hey, we are now reliably making things like diamonds and emeralds. Oh yeah, we have to craft the simulator upgrades too. Oh, that involves changing all the flower blocks to the feeding slab. Oh man. maybe I'll do that later on. Yeah, we'll do that later on. Today though, I want to get started on a new project, and we're going to be starting Occultism. How do we look? Pretty fancy. Hey, it actually goes with this armor set. It's not too bad. I guess there's a trinket slot for it. Does it show in the armor? No, it doesn't. It doesn't show, and we have to swap out the rage mind, which is fine, I guess. We don't need this on right now. Although it does give us a funny vision effect. Maybe we don't want this on all the time. So yeah, Occultism. I used it for the first time in Mod 7, and we really didn't need it for too much there. I'm not sure how much that is the case here. Actually, let's get 2 stacks of andesite. The main thing we want to get from Occultism is actually its storage options. It can almost act as a budget applied energistic system. Almost. Anyways, the quest wants us to make otherstone, and we also need otherworld saplings. We do have an unstable sapling somewhere, I think. Yeah, there is this unstable version. I don't think that counts. No, it doesn't count for the quest. We need this one, which is gonna be... Of course we do, right? Actually, it's not that bad. We just have to find one of these undead saplings, which I know we have around here somewhere. Yeah, these ones here. Hopefully we get a sapling. We did. Nice. Yep, we need purified ink, demon's dream fruit, the hellbark saplings, apprentice blood orb to fuel it, vile dust, and dark gems. Yes. And there's our quest. We get 3 more as a quest reward. And I guess now we have to make the white chalk, which we can get from otherworld ashes and burnt otherstone. Again, I'm not actually sure how much of this we have to automate, but burnt otherstone we just have to smelt. And the ashes we can get from the wood of this sapling here. This is way easier than using the unstable version. Yeah, and the wood from this we just toss into spirit fire. These furnaces are slow. It's kind of crazy we've gotten to this point. Like, our base is this huge and we're still using vanilla furnaces. But I guess we don't even have any RF production yet, that's the thing. And if we search furnace, like, there really isn't that many options, to be honest. Some of these are even blast furnaces, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we use for the furnace late game. Alright, anyways, there is 2 impure white chalk. Again, we toss it in the fire. Quest complete. Do we want to make a chalk brush for the quest? I guess we will, it's cheap enough. This can allow us to clear the chalk. And the chalk we need to use in several different rituals. I'm assuming for the sacrificial bowl. How difficult is the recipe here? Some rose gold and other stone in the alchemy table. Okay, this is simple enough. Yep, there is the sacrificial bowls. I'm gonna get a few of these actually, since I know we need multiple rituals in Occultism now. 10 sacrificial bowls? Yeah, I guess we start with 10. That sounds good. I'm not entirely sure how many rituals we can get up and running today, because one, we don't actually have a Occultism area set up, so everything we do today is going to be pretty temporary. Anyways, we also need the butcher's knife, which we can use here on the cows, and it should give us some sort of tallow. Animal fat, that's not the right thing. Yeah, this thing, tallow. Let's get a few of these. I'm kind of glad I left these cows here, because the cow stockpile on our automatic farm is not very high. I think they only keep like 2 cows at once. The tallow we can use with some string to make candles. The candles here are required for certain rituals. Yeah, and this unlocks the next chapter of the quest. So our next steps is to make a folio. We need a book, and I think we have to make our first ritual here. The foliots, as I understand it, you can actually use similar to like bookworms from Ars Nouveau, and you can have them do things like cut trees and mine for you. And so the first ritual we need is Aviar Circle. As I mentioned, this will be temporary, so I don't really mind just putting it here for now. So all we have to do is draw out the chalk. You can get the preview in the Book of Spirits. We need the golden sacrificial bowl in the middle, and then regular sacrificial bowls to hold the input items for the ritual. And also those white candles. Inventory is a mess. But this is modded Minecraft. Inventory is always a mess here. Alright, so I think the folio we want to summon is the Crusher. If I remember correctly from Mod 7, we do need the Crusher for something or other. And for the quest, it doesn't actually matter. It just says we observe a folio. So let's see if I remember how this goes. We need gold, iron, copper, and silver ingots, which go on these bowls. And to activate, we craft the Book of Binding with the Dictionary of Spirits. And this binds the book, and I think this one goes in the middle. Is it working? Oh, it is. Yeah, these things are very, very slow. Can we time in a bottle this? Oh yeah, nice. Wait, progress has been changed. What does that mean? Alright, so what do we do next? Quest book. If you couldn't tell, I'm not exactly an expert when it comes to occultism. Aha, so it looks like we can get crushed dark gems if we give them the dark gems. This can allow us to start evil craft. I'm kind of glad I made the crusher. The other thing we need is the golden chalk, which is gold dust and glowstone dust. Gold dust we can also get from the crusher. This was totally calculated. Oh my goodness, I'm a genius. Yeah, there we go. There's the gold dust. Although actually the quest gives us gold dust. Maybe just in case we didn't make the crusher version. Yeah, Evilcraft we save for another day. Let's continue with occultism. Yep, there is the impure golden chalk. And again, we toss in the fire. Alright, so I think we might be able to get the tier 1 storage today. We do need to get our hands on some endstone though, which of course we haven't been to the end. However, it does drop from an Endermite, which I think we can spawn with this ritual here. Possessed Endermite, this one I guess. Yeah, some stone, dirt and an egg. We need a separate ritual from this. It's going to be white and golden chalk this time. Wait a second, items to use is an egg. Does that mean we have to use this while the ritual is active? I believe it's another foliot book, which we have to bind with our Dictionary of Spirits. Okay, let's try this out. Let's start the ritual. The stone and dirt represent the surroundings, then an egg is thrown to simulate the use of an ender pearl. When the mite spawns, the summoned foliot immediately possesses it, visits the end and returns. The possessed endermite will then drop endstone when killed. Okay, so we just throw the egg anywhere. Oh, it's working. It took the dirt there. Nice. And endermite? Aha! Endstone. You know what, I'm going to do that again, just since we have it set up. Oops, there he is. And the endstone I think we have to crush here. And that should allow us to get the purple chalk, which I think is the last version. We also need crushed obsidian, which I'm assuming we can also crush with this foliot here. Yep, we got the crushed endstone. Let's get some crushed obsidian. Alright, and we got the purple chalk. Let's toss it in the fire. Quest complete. Oh, more rituals. Okay, we have to summon the genie. Oh, there's one more color of chalk. We need red chalk for this. Yeah, we need an afrit. Alright, one more mob to summon then, I guess. Yeah, this time we need Striggers Higher Binding. A mix of the white, golden, and purple chalk. And also the candles. We are one short. Oh yeah, that's right, we also need Spirit Attuned Gems for this one. Which it looks like in this pack we can get from Source Gems. Oh, and this is definitely not default recipe. We need Diamond Lattice in the Alchemy Array. Netherite Mesh. Uh-oh, Carbon Fiber. Coal Dust. It looks like we also need the Alloy Kiln then, I guess. Well then, I think occultism has to be put on pause. Fortunately though, this is where our bees are going to help us out big time. We have sand and clay here. Yeah, the clay we can smelt into bricks. And the bricks plus the sand can get... No wait, it's sandstone. And the bricks plus the sandstone can give us kiln bricks. That's probably a quest in the immersive engineering chapter, to be honest. And I think this is a 2x2 structure, right? Let's try with the hammer. Yes, there we go. In that case I made a few too many kiln bricks, but I guess we can make more than one of these. So the only crusher method we have right now for the coal is going to be the foliot, who is extremely slow. I think there is a way to speed them up though. We also need netherite scrap. I'm really not sure we have any of that. I do remember seeing it somewhere, I just don't remember exactly where. Oh, we are very unorganized. Wait a second, what is this? Not consumed when eaten. Is that just infinite food? That is awesome. Netherite scrap, there it is. We need to, yeah, we still need to get organized here. But soon. You know, this guy is sufficiently slow, we've got a lot of this coal to crush. I think we actually just summon another one. Yeah, now we have two of these guys crushing coal. And the coal dust becomes carbon fibers, the carbon fibers becomes the mesh. And the mesh is what we toss together in the alloy kiln with the netherite scrap. Oh, I guess we need a fuel for this as well. Do we have any more coal coke here? We do. Probably not efficient to use blocks. Let's maybe not use blocks here. Yep, we get netherite mesh. Can we use this for anything else? I guess this is how we craft gilded netherite. Wow, that's expensive. And for every single one of these, hello wolf. And for every one of these meshes, of which we need 4, we need a block of diamonds. Fortunately though, we're over 4 stacks of diamonds already. I mean, I say already, but I mean, I've been working on the bees for like a full day. More than a full day. And so the diamonds we can cast over the mesh in the smeltery. And slowly we should get our lattice. Yeah, we're basically just waiting on the crushers right now. Alright, and finally we got our 4 diamond lattices that goes inside arcane ashes. I always forget the order of this. Yeah, lattice first, then the spirit attuned gems. Which means we can complete Striggers Higher Binding. Wait, we're missing 3? Where? Oh, the golden chalk. We are missing golden chalk here. Yep, here, and here. There we go. And with Striggers Higher Binding, it actually also unlocks the dimensional storage. It turns out we don't need red chalk for this. I think we do need it eventually. However, the dimensional storage is something we're going to save for next episode. We still have to figure out a location for it. And that actually, I'm honestly not so sure about. I think maybe we dig out a symmetrical room to this one on the other side. That could be not such a bad idea actually. But yeah, we got our bees for today. These are going to help us out tremendously going forward. I'm really happy with how the build turned out as well. Let me know if you have any suggestions on the bees. Anyways, that is going to do us for today. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode.